Okay, this is part 2 of installment 3 on the introduction to lockpicking for beginners. So, this is the 4th or 5th time I'm going to attempt to make this video, and it's only because I keep running into technical difficulties. But as you can see, turned the lock too far, and some of the components have wound up inside the lock cylinder itself. There's 3 of the pins, part of a spring. And this would be common if you had a QUICKSET deadbolt. This is a simulator, a training lock that assimilates that. And the way that happens is if you come too far and you come around and you get one of these, the lock's not in or it's not slid all the way, it can fall into these chambers where it's been milled out to save money, you know. So, but it's a good training lock, and I'm going to try to save it. Normally, if those pins were in sight, you would never get past this point where it is right now, where that split is in that. When it gets up underneath that set of stack for pins, it's going to get locked up, and it's happened to me 3 or 4 times before I learned what I was found out what was happening. So now I'm going to go in here today, and I'm going to fix that. First of all, I'm going to take my tool that I got for Sparrow, and I'm going to remove this C-clamp. And in the process of doing that, I want to make sure that this cylinder doesn't just drop out of this housing, because my pins will go flying. I don't want that to happen. Okay, I'm going to just work this clamp right off of here. This tool should just take it right off. Got that little hook on there. If you get it right, it'll come right off of there. But it takes a little practice. I see the lock-picking lawyer, he does this with all the ease in the world. There comes the stem. That's exactly what I want to happen. And there's the clamp. There. Now, remember, like I told you, if I were to just let go of this would just fall out, and the pins would go just flying everywhere. But they're gonna come out of there anyway, because they're not really in there. But I don't want them to just go flying, so I'm gonna try to keep them in this tray. I'll reset the pins and all when I get this out. Now there's one of them, so I can save that. I can save the ones on the top. It's the ones down in the Bible that have gotten mixed up. So I'm going to save one and one here. Here's 2. There's the one that fell out of the bottom that was stuck. But there's 2. Three, 4, and then 5. Look at these pieces just come flying out of this thing, for crying out loud. They're just all over the place here. Look at that. Lost another spring. So that's everything out of the Bible. Whew. One more little pin falling out there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pins in there. That light is shining right on that and flaring, I believe. Let's try to stop that flaring in that light. That white background might be a little too much for us to see. Well, we'll have to make those changes as time goes by. Now, as I look in here, it's hard to see in there because they drilled these simulated holes where the screws would be, and it just blocks the vision to the cylinder. But I think I still got a pin stuck in number 2 hole there, and then I got, I believe, springs still down in there. So that means that these things are staying stuck in here for some reason. I'm going to take my little tweezers my homemade one that has a little hook on the end, and I'm going to grab that spring right there, number 1. That should come right out of there. Yeah. So I've retrieved this spring. That's good. Now number 2 has a pin stuck, and number 3 has a spring. Wow, I can't imagine why the springs are in there so stuck like that. But I know why they got bent up and out of shape. That's for when I was pushing them in, I must not have been careful enough. That was 3. This is 2. This is 3. This was 4. Okay, 4. Now there's one stuck in there, so that's that would be. It's not the bottom though. That's the one in the Bible. It's stuck too, boy. Right there, you can see it. You can see it glowing underneath there, right there. How am I going to get that out of there? It's down in there pretty low too. I just I don't get it. Try one of my tools here to just see if I can push that up and down. Yeah, it's moving, but it's just it won't get past. It won't come out all the way. Maybe I can tap on the back of this with something light. Man. Yeah, it's recessed in there. There's just no way to get in there to get that. If I had a really, really powerful magnet, I could run over the top of it, but my magnet is powerful, but it's just too big. I can't. I could try to get this plug out of the bottom. I could drill it out. Let me see. Hey. Excuse me, I'm out of the camera for a minute. I'm going to see if I can find something that will maybe snag this stupid thing. This is for pulling the key out if it's stuck. Well, there for a minute I thought I had it. It's just about even with the top. If I can just get that thing to come even with the top, I can snag that top of that pin with this. God, I just don't believe it. Must have got rolled over on or something. How hard that would be to get out of there. I have never taken one of these bottom plugs out, but can't be that hard. I mean, if I have to, I'll have to drill it out. Put another plug in there. Because I don't want to leave a stuck pin in my lock, man. That's like giving up, you know? Okay, I'm going to try to figure out a way to dig this out of here. I'm not going to put you guys through that until I get some tools here. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. You ain't getting away that easy. I have some tools here. I'm finding out that the videos for doing lock picking work are usually not going to turn out to be short ones. They're just, you can't get through them as quickly as you can some of the other work that I put up. But these videos seem to run a little bit longer, so that's just how it's going to have to be. Everything's getting in my way here. I have made myself plenty of work area. I have my tool bag right here next to me where I keep all my different tools that I'm going to need, like these picks, for instance. And we're going to try to get into this with this pick, just to move this thing up and down. Maybe it'll try to lube it up or loosen it or something. I don't know. Okay, the camera shut down on me for some reason. I don't know what part of the video I was in, so I'm just going to continue on, and when I edit it, maybe I can straighten it up. We're going to continue on where we were at. We're reinstalling the pins into the to the Bible, and the springs and pins. So I have the first spring in. We're going to leave one hole empty because I don't have the parts for it. They just got destroyed and lost. The pin, one of the pins disappeared. And I'm not going to try to repin it. I tried to repin it with one of these pins, but it got hung in there, and I think that's where my whole problem got started. So we're not going to worry about that. So we're going to go ahead and use what we have. We got the first spring in the fourth hole, and now I need to go ahead and put the pin in. But let's see. What I was doing at the time, I was making sure that the key is keyed properly, and it is. So we're going to leave that fifth hole empty, like I said, and we're going to go ahead and take the key out of this, and I'm going to set it over here on my homemade deal so that it doesn't get spun around and knocked around and stuff and spill those pins out. Now let's go with our top pins. All the top pins should be the exact same length. And I'm not going to try anything fancy with safety pins and all that, because I'm still learning. I've only been at this for about a month myself. So, but I do have a lot of training over the years. Okay, I know it's tough to see because of this plastic, you know. Maybe you can see the hole. I can see it. I can't tell if you can see it or not on the camera, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and grab this pin. I'm going to grab it right at the top. I love it with these self-locking tweezers because it gives me more control over how I actually want to have a hold of that pin. I'm going to take the pin and I'm going to put it there at the hole, but as you can see, it just doesn't want to stay there because the spring is too strong. But I'm gonna cure that, just like I told you. I'm gonna pin that first. The pin is right there. I want to release. Gotta get it in there. This is why I like my homemade tweezers. The homemade tweezers doesn't take such a big bite of it. They don't hold it so firmly, but they're a little bit magnetic. But once I put that, look how much more of that pin gets exposed because of these thin tips. And then when I put that there, I can push up against it. I can seize it, and then I can push it. Now it's in. See how that's done? I'll do it again. That's why I like my homemade tweezers a little better. They got that thin tip right there, and it gives me more room to do what I'm trying to do there. Not all for everything, but for this it works pretty good, I gotta tell you. Since these springs are a little bit strong anyway, I'll set this down for just a second right there. And this one has a twisted tip. I'm going to just snip off this end. Little snipping scissors I have right here. I'm just going to snip off this so it doesn't get caught in there. And I'm not going to lose that much of the spring. It's probably still going to be just fine. Matter of fact, I know it is. There we go. Another little piece of garbage. Now, I guarantee you that spring right there is still strong enough and plenty long that it's going to be just fine. Love to be able to see in there and see that all tucked away like that. You know, this work can be tedious. It can be aggravating, but this hobby is so much fun. This is right up my alley. I love this kind of stuff, this kind of technical stuff. Ah, come on. Now this is where I find that the spring with the wider jaw is a little better. It gives me more control over the spring. Look at that thing just going everywhere. That's what I want right there. There she goes. Get in there. I couldn't tell if that spring went flying when I finally got it unhooked or not. Boy, I'll tell you. I just can't see inside of these things because of that plastic thing, but I think it's there. I think I see the top of it right there. Okay, so yeah, it's there. Now, grab another one of these. Right up at the top if I can. Right up at the top. Slide forward, pinch it. Push it down. There she is. Okay, there's two of them tucked away. So now you get the drift. This is what you got to do to put one of these back. Well, this is partly. We're only partly there. I could have probably taken about a little bit of each one of these springs off, and it made my life a lot easier when I replaced all these springs. But I didn't. I'm gonna use my other my new store-bought ones for this one, for this part, because it grabs the spring so much better. Helps me manipulate it into the hole. Okay. Now these tweezers are fine. I don't want to badmouth these tweezers because they're fine tweezers. I got them from South Ord. They're good tweezers. But I am going to see that just doesn't give me enough room. But I've got a good pinch on it then, or a bite on it then. See how that piece, that sharp edge, got a hold of that? Then I'm going to put my tweezers on top of it and then tuck it right away, just like that. You just keep moving down the line. Alright, I'm short of spring, so I'm going to have to rob another spring. Use another one of my new spring supply. But I know where it's at, so... Okay. I can't tell if that spring dropped in there or not. I just didn't see it. But it must not have, because that pin dropped right in there. So the spring got away from me. There it is, laying right there. This is why I use a fleece top on my workbench. You see this white fleece? It won't. It lets it gets a hold of it, and it don't let it go. It don't let it just roll off onto the floor and stuff. When it gets on the fleece top, it stays right there. I'm telling you, I really love it. Let me make sure I can see my hole, man. Alrighty. Try it with the store-bought. Spring is in. Hand is in. And went flying. Look at that. See that fleece? I hope you guys are getting a good eyeful of this. That fleece caught that pin right there and that spring. It did not roll off the table. I didn't have to get on my hands and knees on that floor. Again. In it, see how that's got it pinned, and I'm going to take these right here, let off a little, push it in the hole, and there we go. Alrighty, we're all pinned up. Our cylinder is ready. Now, the Bible's ready. The cylinder is sitting here waiting for me. I'm going to put the key back in, make sure I haven't spilled anything. That's all nice and flat. We know that's going to work when we get it into the lock. Now what we're going to do, we're going to come over here. We're going to turn this up. And now we're going to make sure that we're about a quarter of a turn when we start in with this thing. Now, if I go like that, if you see what I'm about to do, because I wasn't paying attention, if I was to go like that, the first thing it would do when it hits this gap right here, it's going to drop the first pin, and then it's going to hang it up. And this is what happened in the last time. The pins were dropping through here because I turned too far. That's what we don't want to happen. So I got to get a shim. Okay, I'm back again. Found all my parts, believe it or not. Found the C-clamp, I found the pins and all the springs. It looked like a spring garden around the bottom of my table down there. Man, those little things are going flying. This is truly embarrassing. You know, I thought I was able to handle them better than that, but I don't know. Need a lot more practice, and I'm putting a lot of that in. I think we started at what, 7:15, and now it's 7:51, and I haven't even got this thing back together yet. Okay, so we know I couldn't get paid very much. Alright then. Sometimes you just gotta face reality. Now, the benefit of why I am using this homemade follower is going to be seen here in just a second. And it's just simply, what Sparrow needs to open up these on this mini pinning pad. The trough is just too narrow. You know, I mean, it's causing me to have to fight to get the pin on, and then I'm pinching the rubber with my tweezers. It's just a pain. One more pain. Well, that ain't going in there because I don't have it down, a good grip on it. Now this is where these sparrow tweezers come in a little bit better, so I can get a good grip high up on it, and then when I put it in, I can push that spring down because it don't want to cooperate just readily. Then I can push this up against there. Let me make sure you guys see that. I can push this up against that pin. I can release it. Most of the time it's going to stay, but this time it's not going to. Let's see. Let's pull this back a little. Make sure you see that. Why is that not? What is going on? Oh, okay, I got it now. No. For some reason, I believe that pin might, that spring might be stuck in that. I might have to change that spring. Look at that thing. Yeah, it's just sitting there, jammed in there. Oh man, that should have compressed, no problem. This lock, because I'm recording, this lock just don't want to do right. Yeah, that spring it's bent. We'll get another one. Good thing I got these with that kit. I got these along with from the Sparrow and the lock training kit. A little tin can. Anybody that goes on Sparrow will know what I'm talking about. Okay. Let's see. Which end? This one. Alright, yeah. That dropped in there, so we shouldn't have any trouble with it this time. Trying to be conservative and just causing myself more work. I got a good end on this and one that's kind of dented up. I want to make sure I get the right end. I believe this is it right here. Plus I filed one end down. Okay, let's try it again. Camera, Jesse. Now see how I've got that trapped with the edge of this thing? Now I'm going to just push that down and slide up over it. Just like that. Gotta get used to doing that again. I've done this many times on other machines that I worked on and stuff, but it was a lot bigger than these. Not used to working with these small, well, yeah, well, I'm kind of not, but not where I'm going to be doing it like I'm doing now. No, I'm putting a lot of time into this practicing on these because I want to learn it. I find it very interesting. I didn't even think about making some locks along the line. That's pushed up. I gotta get that pin back down in the tweezers. I've done quite a bit of machining. I switched over to woodworking a little while back, and I got wood lathe down there instead of metal lathe now, but I'd look into what a mini lathe would cost me. Man, that's just so tight. You wouldn't believe how that spring just tries to push against that. Man, you gotta really get a grip on this thing so I can skate over the top of those stinking springs. I'm whining. Oh no, I've started whining. Gotta remember to get under the camera, man. One more to go. And I lost my pen, so I'm going to put in one of my spool pens that came from the kit. I want to practice with the there's a spool serrated. I'm going to try the spool pen right here in the front. There's a standard, but I think the standard might be just a little too wide. I believe I had tried one earlier and it got stuck in there, but the spool didn't. So I put a spool pin in. Oh yeah, that should be okay. Excuse me. Okay. I gotta get something to drink. Okay, I had to grab myself something to drink. I didn't want to be coughing during the video the whole time. Alright, we got the follower pushed through. The stacks are in the shell. And now it's time to put the cylinder back in. Now the only way to do that, when I start backing this follower out, if I don't have a shim over the top, excuse me, under, if I don't have a shim right there put in between those stacks right there and where this cylinder is going to be coming in, then those pins are going to drop out right there. Even if I have this cocked over to the side, they're still going to drop out right there. And if I get past that with any luck, they will probably drop in any one of these, get caught, tear up some more springs, and pins will go flying, because that's what's happened to me each time. I'm checking to see if I have a nice square fit here, and I do. So it's just that I'm not being cautious enough when I'm pushing it out, and that's what's causing me to catch pins and stuff. Because I'm not doing it when I'm going in. It's just when I'm coming out. Boy, no, I should have put a shim in before I pushed it out. That's where I made my mistake. I'm pretty sure. Man, I can't. With this gap, yeah, I'm gonna have to study that problem, because I think that might be it. But anyway, I'm gonna set this back down, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the key in, because I want to work on it with my hand with the key in. It just makes it a little easier for me to control it. Anyway, our key slips right in. We got a nice flat surface right there. That's what we want. Oh, I'm thinking, just said it and then I almost went without doing it. I want to put a shim in there. I bought some shims. Actually, the shims came with the little kit that I bought from Sparrow. Well, they didn't come with it, but they came at the same time. I bought them in a separate package. I think they were a couple of bucks. I'll try to put that information underneath the video down there at the bottom, so that stuff will be more readily available to us, or to you when I get the videos done. I haven't done that in a while. Posted those down there, but I got a video that tells me how to do it. If I can't, I'll ask somebody to tell me. You know, gotta get a shim out. Everything takes all day when you're working on the camera. I just took my shims and I put them in this handy jar so I can just grab them whenever I need to. You know, I did the same thing with everything. Just getting started, I'm trying to come up with the smartest setup I can for myself and the way that I like to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and slip this shim right underneath here. It just goes right in, man. I mean, it's just beautiful. I'll let it hang out on the back end back here. Now that will keep those pins from dropping in these gaps as I slide this in. I'm just going to cock it a little bit over to the right. When I go in with it, put the key back in, make it a little easier for me to control it. Okay, here we go. Now, everything will just slide right along the bottom of this shim. Okay, remove the follower. Remove the bushing. Now my key is set. Okay, and it's working. But I don't want it to turn because I don't want it, if it goes too far, everything will drop into the keyway or to the keyway and be digging in again. Okay, now this gets this can be a little tricky, but I have found with a little bit of practice that it's really simple if you just watch what you're doing. Take this C clamp right here. Boy, it is hard for me to pick up anything. Oh man, I don't have any fingernails. Okay, if you take this C clamp and you kind of put it over one side of this, you get it up here, just let one side of this kind of ride over. These are going to snap right into there, okay? But in order to get this piece, this activator in, and to get it to stay there, it's best to try to get it under one side. Excuse me, doggone it. Like I'm going to do right here, right now. Now that kind of holds it in place while we're snapping it in, and it won't get away from you so easily. And I'm going to put my thumb up now. I still got to hold the bottom of it down there, because if I don't, I'm just going to push everything through. I'm going to take a pair of tweezers well, just a little set of pliers, needle nose long, and I'm going to clamp or close this right over this if it doesn't go flying on me. Now it's not going to be right now. I got to put it back. Excuse me. I got a fan on. It's making my throat dry. There we go. It clips right in. You can see it. It's just easy as pie. I like to just get it on the side and make sure I've got it. This has kind of got a recess on that, and I want to make sure I got that thing in there. And that's it. Once you get that, you got it done. Okay, but you still, without this being in the deadbolt, you come all the way around to the bottom of that, and you're gonna this lock is gonna seize up on you. Okay, you want to be able to get the key out. If I came all the way around to the bottom and I let this get caught there, I let those pins get caught right there in this split, even with the key in, you're still going to get caught right there. Okay, and you ain't going to be able to turn it after that. Okay, so it only took almost an hour 55 minutes for the dropping all my parts, tearing up some springs and everything else. I came out with a pretty good working lock. So you know, I'm learning as time goes by. Now after a lot of work with this lock housing, this shell had gotten really scratched up and I couldn't hardly see it, so I took one of my butane lighters and I just kind of warmed up the outside of it about 5 seconds. Just keep moving, and it cleared up most of those scratches, because acrylic will do that. It'll just flatten out those scratches on the top, those microscopic scratches. You know, it'll flatten them out and clear it up a little bit. But boy, I wish there was some way that I could make it, you know, so that you could just see the keyway, I mean the stacks, but you can't because of that fake hole they put right there. Otherwise I could see those pins when I'm slipping the key in and I'm trying to turn this thing. But you got to get at a crazy angle to even catch that, you know, like maybe like that you can see it a little bit, but you can't see it straight on from the side like that, you know. That's too bad. I was thinking about maybe taking this lock and just going ahead and just cutting out a quarter section of it right there, so that that part on this side is gone, and then I'll leave just a little thin wall right there, and then that will display this much better, the stack and everything. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to get down there and get my bandsaw set up and go ahead and cut that. My table saws and my bandsaws and stuff will, I mean, as far as acrylic, it's no problem. But I might even take my my Dremel and just be real careful and maybe set up a straight edge in the clamp and just work along the edge of that. I don't know. I'm gonna come up with something, because I want to get this clear on one side so I can get a better video with this lock right here. Okay, so that's going to end it. It took about an hour, a long video probably, but that's what it's like when you're beginning, right? And I'm just trying to show what I'm doing so that I can get some suggestions and interest in what I'm trying to do here. But okay, so you guys take it easy. Now that was the end of the introduction. Now the next time I sit down at this table, I am going to be doing this sincerely, this one a lot better, and I'm also going to have my front door lock, which is a QUICKSET, and it has the same kind of lock chamber and such as this. So I will be repinning that one for sure and getting it ready to be a more secure lock for my house. And so that'll be our next project. That's going to be coming up very soon. So probably even I'll start on that tomorrow. So thank you very much for your interest, and have a good day now. Well, that's the end of that's the end of the introduction. I guess you guys are probably glad of that if you're following me. And okay, that ends the introduction, this part 2. You can see that I definitely needed a lot of practice, but you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys out there that are doing lock picking, that have just started, that have are the ones that have been doing it a long time. If you happen to catch this video, you'll see, maybe you'll be reminded of how it was when you first got started. Anyway, I got a little picture of my partner down here. I'm never able to work on my locks or anything else without my body lash right here, right next to me the whole time. So I thought I'd let you guys know that I'm looked after and I always got plenty of company. Anyhow, getting back to the serious work here now. The training locks that I have are here laid out, and this is what we're going to be, the videos that I'm going to be making in the next few days. I'm going to tackle this monster right here next on video, and then the training locks, I've got those, but I'll show you. I haven't even tried this one yet. I'm saving this one for a video. Then this one is pretty high tolerance lock. It's giving me a hard time. It's an Ace, and this little one I found, just novelty lock. I've got my jigglers in from South Ord, and I got the ones that I got off of Amazon, and I got the skeleton keys. The skeleton keys work great, believe it or not. And then my South Ord pick sets over here, and the South Ord wafer sets right there. And this is the original set that I got that I really like a lot. I'm going to order another one of these sets. It's $24.99, but it's cheap, and that's what I've been training with, and I'm just going to keep on with it. I'm going to save my good picks for when I get to where I'm not tearing stuff up all the time. I made myself a little magnifying glass over here till I got one coming in ordered, and Got all my GoPro stuff laid out right here. The filming and everything else is just as important as the smithery work when you're trying to do a YouTube channel. Believe me, this is involved. Got a clock set here so that I can. Here's my GoPro setup. I've got my GoPro camera set up on a tripod right here with my loom cubes on the mounting. I got the camera out right now in the gimbal. That's why you can't see that. And I control the camera with my phone over here. And there's my mic. I've got my mic sitting away from the camera so that it doesn't click while I'm using it. And then I have a charger here, a USB charger and a rechargeable battery charger, because I'm always needing batteries. And this is going to be my workstation. This is where my camera is going to stay when I'm working on locks. I just got to get used to working in the center of the table, because that's where I want to be working from, you know. And so I've got I'm all set up for getting ready to really get serious with this thing, you know, fabricating my own tools, or even coming up with maybe getting a small lathe, and working on making some cylinders and such as that. I've done some machining work. I've been out of the trade for a while, but I know I could pick it back up again if I had to. So that's where I'm at, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of you that have followed this video, and I hope that you're following my lead. I am going to start posting where I'm buying all of this tool stuff from, because I'm getting some pretty good deals. Maybe there's some better deals, but I'm taking some good advice from some old timers that have been doing it for a good while, that have a good reputation out there in the lock picking sport. So if you follow my lead, then you can you know, improve. You can advance right along with me as I buy the things I need. I'll let you know where I'm getting them from, and who recommended them, and how they've worked out for me. Okay? All right. You guys take it easy. Have a good day now.